This is your step-by-step guide on how you can get grade 9 in GCSE Geography. This is part of a new series where I'm outlining clear, actionable steps that you can take to get grade 9s in each one of your GCSEs, so make sure you follow along for my best tips and tricks. My name's Tilly, I got 8 9s and 2 8s in my GCSEs, and I just want to share with you some of the things that I did to get those grades. GCSE Geography, Step 1. Understand that this GCSE is very much about how you answer the exam questions. You could love geography and know everything about it, but if you don't know how to answer the exam questions, you're going to come out of the exam with like a 3. It's about hitting the assessment objectives, and the best way to do that is by having a paragraph structure. A lot of schools will teach PEE. This is like very sort of basic, I would say. If you really want to get those top band marks, you need to extend PEE to, there's loads of different paragraph formats you can use, but you need to develop these chains of analysis. It's not just explain in one sentence, it's explain and analyse the reasons for something. It depends on the question. I'd say if you took anything from that video, I want it to be that, but obviously the exam technique will only get you so far if you don't know the content. You need to know the content, and you need to use the specification for your content. So you don't need to know anything that's not on the specification, but bear in mind that you do have case studies as well. So you have your topics that are on the specification, but then you have your physical geography, your human geography, and you need to know case studies for each sort of subtopic within that. Just an example, earthquakes. Use Haiti, use versus New Zealand. Learn 2 or 3 case studies per topic. Your teacher will explain more about this and which topics you need to remember case studies for. But it's an important element of the course to remember these things, and I would recommend having a mind map for each case study that you do. Remembering key facts, figures, dates, and causes and consequences. Implement active recall to remember these like key dates and key definitions and formulas and things like that. So this is spaced repetition, because geography, I feel like it's a subject that can be a little content dense. It's not as content dense as something like history, but it is more content dense than something like maths. But it's not as conceptually difficult as maths and science, but it's not as content dense as something like history. But that being said, you need to remember the things, basically. And you can only remember the things that you learn in geography, which, to be fair, is a lot of memorisation, through active recall. So active recall is the process of actively recalling something from your own brain. And when you're revising, you're not just taking in information from revision. You're not just reading a textbook. You are actively thinking about things. So whether this be doing an exam question without a book next to you and being like, what is longshore drift, for example? Or whether it be blurting. So get one of your case studies, get the Haiti earthquakes, and write down everything that you know about it and all of the key facts, figures, dates. Then you go over it, identify anything that you got wrong, and this is an active way of recalling the information from your own mind. For short pieces of information as well, utilise flashcards. This is very important and very, very effective when you just have short pieces of information that you need to remember. But very importantly, learn how to work in time conditions. Make sure you're sticking to the rule of thumb, a minute a mark in the exam, just so you're not running out of time. You do have longer answer questions, you do have shorter answer questions, and also bear in mind that 10% of the GCSE in geography will be mathematical skills, so you need to brush up on your math skills to get those marks. This 10% of marks might be a blessing or it might be a curse depending on how confident you are with maths. But the crucial step that you need to take to go from getting these kind of mid-grades to getting a grade 9 is understanding how to apply your knowledge to specific scenarios in the exam. Under these time conditions, but also being able to hit all of the assessment objectives, which is the hardest part. Because that is really something you can only learn how to do through repeated practice. So take your marks seriously, take any practice papers you do seriously, either mark them yourself or get your teacher to mark the longer answer questions, because at the end of the day, they're the only people who can really give you a proper, you've got 9 out of 9 here, or you've got 8 out of 9 here. This is where you dropped the mark, this is what you could have done better. You mark things yourself, but the longer answer questions are very hard to mark on your own, just like any other essay subject. But just do them again and again and again, get your teacher to mark them, and really take on the feedback, and you will see a gradual increase in your grades. And that is what you need to do to get a grade 9 in GCSE Geography. If you like this video and you want to see more tips on how to get grade 9s in the rest of your GCSEs, then comment what subject you want to see next and follow for another part to this series.